This is the iPhone 16 Pro Max and I've been using it for the last month. In today's video, I'm going to review it and tell you guys what were my favorite features and the ones that disappointed me. And at the end, you will figure it out. Is it worth buying the iPhone 16 Pro Max in 2024? Let's talk about it. But before we do so, I need to tell you about MagBak cases. This is the MagBak case. It comes in this very cool box with all the instructions to install the case and the screen protector. Yes, this case comes with a screen protector. So wipe your phone down, put it on the box and easy install this very cool screen protector with an anti-fingerprint coating that will make your phone look fresh, easy, no air bubbles. Of course, the case is also very easy to install and also very protective, up to 12 feet. It's easy to use, very comfortable and good looking. Of course, it has this finger loop on the back to make it holding it more comfortable. It also has this pinky holder to make it even more comfortable for your pinky and not to damage your finger. There, you can open up, it protects your USB-C port. It obviously has the camera button cut out and this kickstand on the back that allows you to mount your iPhone in any table with 3 different positions. You also have MagSafe charging and these magnets on the back for you to be able to install your iPhone in any wall, any place you want, and to magnetically attach it to it. So just watch myself do some pretty cool stuff with my iPhone. I bet you didn't see this coming. But if you are interested in buying one, check out the link in the description down below and use TechSummer15 for 15% of discount. Yes, you can also customize this case with different colors and it looks stunning from the front and from the back. Thank you MagBak for sponsoring today's video. This case is awesome and I'll be rocking it on my iPhone. But in the last month, the iPhone 16 Pro Max has not disappointed. This is an amazing flagship phone and it performs. It truly performs. The cameras are incredible. The design is super comfortable and very durable. In the last month, no marks, no scratches, nothing. This phone is still brand new and it should be. It costs $1,200. Should last like a $1,200 phone. But some Android phones, they have this issue. They don't feel premium enough. They are not durable enough for the price that they actually cost. While the iPhone 16 Pro Max, titanium, very durable glass, and everything is still in order 1 month after buying it. But this premium touch, this premium feeling makes the iPhone 16 Pro Max unique. But whenever you use your iPhone without a case, now I don't need to, but whenever I do, this iPhone feels very premium. The heaviness of the phone, the weight distribution, everything feels in order. This phone feels like $1,200. This phone feels very good to hold. And so, whenever you do for the first time, you are hooked and you want to do it so much more times. And so you end up buying this phone, which is not a bad thing because this is a very good iPhone. This is the first time ever that Apple built an iPhone from ground up to support Apple Intelligence. This has the A18 Pro. And in the last month, what was the Apple Intelligence experience? I don't know. I don't have it. Neither do you. Probably you have it in the US or outside of the EU in the last week. But I'm from the EU, no Apple Intelligence for me. Quite sad. But as for the rest, in terms of performance, the A18 chip has not disappointed. The A18 chip has been fast enough, has been very reliable. And the battery life, apart from the first week, has been incredible. The first week was kind of dodgy, but that's normal because the iPhone is adjusting to your patterns. The iPhone is adjusting all of its settings. The iPhone is downloading stuff from the cloud. And so the battery life on the first week will be worse than the rest of your experience in the lifetime of the phone. So I do believe that the iPhone 16 Pro Max has been a battery champ in the last month. It has lasted me throughout the whole day really easily, maybe 2 days whenever I don't actually use it that much. And yeah, if I'm just putting on the wireless charging for 5 minutes, maybe once or twice per day when I'm working, this iPhone lasts me 2 days easily. While the iPhone 14 Pro Max had some issues. So if you are coming from older iPhones like the iPhone 14 Pro Max, 12 Pro Max, whatever, the battery life improvement will be very noticeable. If you are coming from the iPhone 15 Pro Max, what I gotta say, it's mainly the same phone. The only big differences you will notice are actually the camera button and the 40 megapixel ultra-wide camera, which, I mean, I will tell right away, I've not noticed it that much, and whenever I use it, I don't remember myself like, oh, you have 48 megapixels now, you use the RAW max. No, I simply take the photo, and does it look different? Maybe it looks a bit more sharp, maybe it looks a little bit more clear, but noticeable for upgrading for the 15 Pro Max. No. As for the camera button, was it a gimmick? I changed my mind on the camera button in the last few days, let's just say that, because I had a very cool experience. This weekend the weather was really nice, and so I went to the sea, to the beach. Yes, in November, which is quite strange. And yeah, I went to the water, I played in the water, and after a while I went to take some pictures. I had my hands completely wet, soaked wet with salt water, and the screen did not work. But then I remember, I do have the camera button. Let me try to use it. And I did, and it worked. And I took incredible photos that I could have taken if I had no camera button. So for the first time in 1 month, the camera button was actually useful because my fingers were too wet to not recognize the screen, but because this is a physical button, I could have clicked once to open up the camera, twice to take the photo, and it worked really well. And I was very happy. So yes, it kind of changed my mind a bit. Is it a gimmick? Completely. Is it useful sometimes? Very. So those photos now are in my memory, in my gallery, and I will never lose them. So for that moment alone, it was totally worth the upgrade. For you, you need to analyze. Do you think you have the same experience as me? If you do, then the camera button might be a useful thing. But if not, it's a huge gimmick because 99% of the time I don't remember it's there, I don't use it, and it's very expensive toy. Let me just tell you, because the 16 Pro Max costs $1,200. If you are upgrading from the 15 Pro Max, it will be expensive, guys. Very expensive. But here's the thing. Camera button, no camera button. The action button has been very revealing in the last month. With the iPhone 15 Pro Max, I never used the action button that much, but in the last month, I actually learned to use it very much. I've now mapped it to ChatGPT, and because Apple does not give me Apple Intelligence, or rather, EU does not allow Apple to turn on Apple Intelligence on the EU, I've been stuck without Apple Intelligence, but not without AI. Yes, I've created a shortcut for my action button where I can turn on ChatGPT with a single click of a button. This is cool for ask simple questions, to ask ChatGPT to do some stuff on the background, works really well, and AI with a single tap of a button, it's really fast and really useful, so I cannot wait to get Apple Intelligence in the EU. Please, Apple, force it a bit, try to make it possible, because I cannot wait to have a more intelligent Siri on my hands. This display kinda disappointed me, because Apple promised us a bigger display, 6.9 inches, coming from a 6.7-inch iPhone 15 Pro Max. And how does it hold up between these two phones? The same. I don't notice any difference between the iPhone 15 Pro Max and the 16 Pro Max, unless I put them side by side, and then you can notice a very tiny difference. 0.2 inches in the real world is nothing. You won't notice any difference. But this is a two-faced coin, because you don't notice the bigger display, but you also don't notice the bigger sized phone. Because yes, the iPhone 16 Pro Max is now bigger than the iPhone 15 Pro Max, which for some people might be very cumbersome. While for me, did not notice it. Why? Because I did not notice the bigger display, I cannot notice the bigger body. It's simple math. 0.2 inches, it's too small for you to notice. So if you're wondering, is the upgrade worth it for the bigger display? No. Tell you right away, cannot notice it, did not notice it in the last month of use. One thing that I did notice is USB-C coming from the iPhone 14s. So if you are coming from an older iPhone with lightning ports, if you are buying an iPhone 16 Pro Max, you will notice right away that you have a different port. You'll have to buy new chargers, new adapters, new accessories. But once you do, totally worth it, guys. Totally worth it upgrading from a USB-C iPhone. USB-C is a game changer. For me, it wasn't that big because I came from an iPhone 15 Pro Max, so I already had USB-C. But if you are coming from older iPhones, like 99% of you that have Lightning, then oh my gosh, you will notice a complete revolution in your world. This is much faster in terms of transferring files between your iPhone and the computer. This charges faster, this wireless charges faster, and because you have a better battery life iPhone with faster charging, the battery experience is so much better. Oh, one thing, if you are currently buying an iPhone 16 Pro Max, this is for Miguel of the future, I want to know, how's the battery health handling? Because the iPhone 16 Pro Max, in the first month of use, power using it hasn't dropped 1% of battery health. Is it normal? Yes, normally it actually behaves that way. But with the iPhone 14 Pro Max, after like 8 months, I had 90% of battery health. It degraded really fast. While with the iPhone 15s, Apple fixed it. Now, with the 16s, it seems like it's completely fixed. Still 100% after 1 month, which with the 14s wasn't that really true. And so, the battery experience on this phone is 10 out of 10. super fast to charge, you have several ways to do it, USB-C, MagSafe, wireless charging, and of course, the battery life is just insane. Quick note on this display, one thing that it can do better than the 15 Pro Max and older iPhones is dim the display further. So this display is now capable of dimming even further than the older iPhones. This is useful at nighttime whenever you need that lowest amount of brightness possible. You need that minimum brightness available so you can see your display without getting blind. And for that, the 16 Pro Max performs because the peak brightness, really good, 2000 nits, outside perfectly seeable, but that minimum brightness is insane. Dynamic Island in the last 2 years has improved a lot. And yes, now developers, almost all of them have live activities available, almost all of them have any type of use case for the Dynamic Island that make it even more useful than a notch. So yes, if you are getting the iPhone 16 Pro Max and you are coming from an older iPhone than the 14, then expect that Dynamic Island right now, it will be on the sweet spot. As for the cameras, did it blow my mind? No, the cameras were very stale this year. I think that the upgrade was really small when compared to the iPhone 15 Pro Max. If you have an iPhone 15 Pro Max, the camera experience will be 98% the same. The only difference again will be the 40 megapixel ultra-wide sensor, and that is not that noticeable. So at the end of the day, it's really the same. So yes, the 40 megapixel main sensors, truly incredible, still takes amazing shots. Detailed, they have lots of natural bokeh, they look amazing. But the 15 Pro Max also took amazing photos. So if you are comparing these two phones between each other, they are still really similar, they can take amazing photos. And if I say to you that this photo is from the 16 or this photo is from the 15, no, it's the other way around. You won't be able to actually distinguish which one it is. So if you have an iPhone 15 Pro Max, don't worry, the 16 Pro Max's camera is not that much better. Really, it's almost the same as your phone's camera. Again, the telephoto is totally the same lens, 5x telephoto. The only thing that is improved is that now on the 6.3 inch, so the 16 Pro, you have available the 5x telephoto instead of the 3x on the 15 Pro. Other than that, the camera systems are really similar. The 40 megapixel ultra-wide takes really good night photos, takes really good daylight photos, but when you compare it to the 12 megapixel ultra-wide present on the 15 Pro Max, is a bit sharper, a bit less noisy, but not worth the money. As for the video, well, the normal 4K 60 video, even the log footage is pretty much the same, nor the same. You won't notice the differences between the 15 Pro Max and the 16 Pro Max. They take almost the same video. The only difference you will notice is 4K 120 frames per second. That's noticeable, that's useful if you need it. So maybe 4K 120 is the biggest upgrade to the camera this year, in my opinion. And so this has been it. This has been my experience with the iPhone 16 Pro Max in the last month. It was good, it was a really good iPhone, worth the money, but if you are coming from an iPhone 15 Pro Max, just know it feels the same, performs the same, looks the same, it's almost the same phone, but if you are coming from an older iPhone like the iPhone 13 or 12 or 11, it's gonna feel like a big upgrade. For me, last month, performs, just performs and performs. That's the thing that I need. I cannot have my phone failing on me, so the iPhone 16 Pro Max is just the perfect flagship for that. If you like other types of software, if you like Android, if you like AI and you want to have it on the U, maybe the iPhone is not for you. But if you love iOS, if you love the ecosystem, the Apple Watch, the Mac, the iPad, the AirPods, an iPhone 16 Pro Max will fit just right in. Thank you guys for watching. Drop a like down below, subscribe to the channel, check out MagBak cases, they are incredible, and use my discount code TechSummer15, link in the description. Thank you guys for watching. Bye bye.